Hello there, how's it going? So in this video I'm going to explain to you how you can actually get your clients better results with a selected process that not a lot of people talk about. So I thought about this recently and I thought I would actually make a video on this because I think it's very valuable information. It will probably save you a lot of time, save you a lot of energy, and also help you get better results. So if you're a coach, consultant, and you're struggling to actually, not even just get yourself clients, get your own self results, but also get your own clients results as well, to the results they're actually looking for. In this video, I'm actually gonna walk you through that. So if you want to know who I am, my name is Heath. I run a company called Webful, and we specialize in helping coaches and consultants get more clients. I have a ton of social proof and actual tangible strategies you can actually come and implement on how I do this specifically. You can check out my free Facebook groups in the link in the description. Please check out. It has a lot of information on how this process works. Obviously, you can see a lot of social proof in there. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. I just want to walk you through why this might be the case of how you might not be really getting your clients the best results, or how you can actually do this. So this is going to be more of like a selective thing. So it's not really like a strategy, but it's more of like a way of thinking that's going to avoid you from working with people that just can't get results. So what we are mostly told every single time, what we've been programmed, is that you have to have the best service, you have to have the best product, you have to have the best thing every single time. But what most people don't tell you is, okay, cool, what about the actual person you're serving? What do they have to have? And I don't think this has been talked about enough. So there are just some people in this world that you genuinely cannot help. And this is not me saying this that to make you feel better. This is me saying this as like a fact. Drill this into your mind, and I'm going to explain to you why later on. So the reason why you see a lot of coaching companies that get like ridiculous wins with their clients. So for example, you might see like a coach, like let's say like a big company that does make millions a year or something like that. They'll pull up a testimonial of some guy that got like 100k in like 30 days or something like that, and then everyone goes crazy and they start like commenting. They're like, yes, send it to me, how's he done this? And then they start embedding it in their head that, oh, the reason why they've been able to do this so quickly is because the service is actually so good. And that's the effect you want people to think, and that's obviously the effect that I would want most people to think as well too when I do share smart wins. But there's a lot more truth behind all that type of stuff, and I'm going to explain to you why that's the case. So to most people, those results look extremely abnormal. As a result, they get lured in, but what's on the inside is actually pretty shocking. So for example, take these multiple, I don't know why I put 9 figures, most of them are not at that figures rate, yeah, but these multiple 6 to 7 figure coaching companies will sometimes just take anyone that has a bank account. Like to them, having a bank account with money is the requirement, regardless of your situation. And as soon as you come in and you don't get the result that you want, you become upset, and then rightfully so. Like, of course you don't want to be upset, but and then what most people think is that when they get this effect where someone pays them and then they do the thing and they don't get the result, a lot of the time it's on the service provider, and most of the time it should be, but there is a huge factor to play on the actual person's slides, and I'm going to explain to you why that is the case. So I shared this in the previous video. If you haven't checked it out, I might put a link on the top right, but this is the theory of constraints, and this is another reason why most people can't even sign clients in the first place, and it works the same way for when you're trying to get your clients results. So the theory of constraints, if you're not aware of it, states that the rate of a goal's achievement in a goal-oriented system is limited by at least one constraint. So basically saying the speed of which you get a result, which you maybe promised for your client, is limited by one constraint that person has. So behind the big revenue numbers, there's always some common stuff that always goes on, and I see this a lot of the time. So when you see people that get like the ridiculous amounts of wins, usually when you look back on them like 5 years previous to them, they usually a lot of the time they're actually doing stuff. So I had one person that I knew that scaled like their agency from like 0 to 40k in like, I think 2 months or something like that, of starting it like completely from scratch. And then you're like, oh my god, how's he done this? And like, oh. But then you look at his track record, and before that he's actually been a sales coach, and he closed like 3 million in sales before he did that. So he had a track record of actually doing the thing. So for example, most people that get those ridiculous crazy goals that you see on all these like coaching stories, I'm not gonna say names, you know who they are, they'll spend around 1 to 3 years actually gathering information, trying stuff, and it doesn't work. But this is actually a good thing, because a lot of the time they'll come in and they'll be like, oh, I've tried so many different program parameters, this is the one. Most of the time that's actually a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, but most of the times it might be a good thing when someone has tried different things and it doesn't work out, because they have data and they've actually experienced something and they've tried stuff. So it's going to be very easy to pinpoint what worked and what didn't work. They might have they usually, all of the time, they would have achieved some sort of success before they worked with those types of companies, where They would have signed their first couple clients. They might have hit 5K, they might have hit 10K, they might have 20. They might have hit some significant revenue mark before they even consider working with these types of people. And they are good at fulfilling at the offer. They've got a proof of concept, they've got a few case studies, so they know what they're doing essentially. So when you sign these types of people and you have just a really good protocol and a really good system on actually getting them results, it's actually 10 times easier to get these types of people results. The people that most people and most companies will sell to and most coaches will sell to are people like this, where they find the first couple months of getting started into something new and they've not tried anything. Maybe they've tried 1 or 2 programs, and I don't know why I added this in here just because I duplicated this. They haven't had any big success before, and if they did, it wasn't anything crazy. They might have signed their first client, maybe 1 or 2. In some cases, they might not even sign their first client. And it works the same way for like coaches as well too. So if you're helping someone, let's say with sales, some people might not have signed, made their first sales online. Some people might have not done that. If you're doing like emotional management, some people might not have been through the part of when they have to actually like heal themselves, like when they actually have to like sit down and be like, yeah, this is my fault, like the acceptance part. Some, let's say if you're doing like a crypto or something, like maybe some people haven't just like, even gone on it in the first place. And a lot of the time they would have no proof of concept, barely any real case studies, no solid offer, and they're just in the learning stage. These types of people, 10 times harder to get them results. You can do the exact same thing for this person and the exact same thing for this person. This person will get 10 times better results. This person wouldn't even get any results. It's mind-boggling, but I'm going to explain to you why this is the case. It should be obvious, but I'm going to just break down why. It all comes back to the theory of constraints, because as you see, if you're a coach or anyone just providing a service, most of the time you should be just coming in and just amplifying what people are currently already doing. So if they already have like a proof of concept, they're already doing something, you as a service provider are just a multiplier to what they're doing. So you're not like creating something from scratch, you're multiplying. So let's say, for example, someone has a factor of, let's say they have you have a business of 10. So 10 is just like a vanity number. Let's say the business is just 10 for whatever reason, just for simplicity's sake. Let's say the business is 10. Let's say your service is a 5. If you multiply 10 times 5, you get 50. So your number is bigger. But let's say someone's business is, let's say, like a 2 and your service is a 5. If you do 2 to 5, they get 10. So it's like the same number, which is your service. You come in and you multiply different businesses, and different people will get different results based on where they are. So understand that, and that's majority of the reason why most people don't get that. So let's look at an example. So person A, let's say he's stuck at let's say 33K a month. And let's say these are his constraints. And I'm just using these numbers, by the way. Like, this doesn't mean that this only applies to people that help other people make more money. This is not the case. I'm just using numbers to just make this easy to understand, essentially. So let's say you have a revenue offer, you help people make more money. Let's say your client is stuck at 3K a month and they want to scale to, let's say, 10K. Let's say they're the constraints. So let's say they actually have a really good offer, but they're just not marketing it well. So they're marketing it well, and let's say they're at 15K a month. Let's say the sales, so every single month they can close, let's say, 10K in sales, because maybe they're just not good enough to close 15K. And then let's say the fulfillment can handle 20K a month in fulfillment, so they can handle this amount of bandwidth. So a lot of the times you can actually pinpoint and be like, okay, cool, we need to improve your sales, we need to maybe increase your marketing, maybe make your offer better. Your fulfillment is completely fine, and we'll be able to get you to 20K per month. So this service with a very good service can consistently get to 10K per month consistently, even with these constraints right now. You can elevate them and then make it better. Let's say, for example, this person B, is stuck on 1K a month, and here are their constraints. So they have an offer that's 5K a month. It will only attract 5K a month in revenue. And let's say the marketing, they're not even consistent. They probably don't even know how to do marketing properly. Let's say they can only bring in 3K a month for revenue. Let's say that they're not even that good at sales. So they haven't spent, a couple months looking at sales trainings. They actually aren't competent at sales at all. And let's say the fulfillment is just around 5K. Maybe they somewhat know what they're coaching, but they're not the best at it. This person will not make more than 1K a month. Genuinely. To get this person to more than this, the time you will take would probably be 12 months, to the point that it wouldn't even make sense for them to pay you that much, unless they have just excess cash just sitting there in the background. But what most people will do is that they'll see someone, let's say they just have excess cash, just lying around, and they just happen to be able to pay whatever fee that you're paying. They'll pay that fee, they won't get the result, and then you're looking at yourself and you're like, hang on, they did everything. Why is this just not the case? But in reality, it all comes down to the actual person, because like I said before, you are just amplifying what someone is currently already doing. So to improve your service, you need to improve the people you deliver it for. Like, improve the people you're actually working with, or you can elevate the constraints. I'm not saying you can't get someone from zero to something. That is possible. People have done it before. But when they do that, they also elevate their constraints as well too. Because if you're working with someone and you just don't elevate anything apart from just one thing, you have to elevate everything. Like, I'm talking about everything before you can actually get them to like a significant result. So that was what I wanted to share to you, and I hopefully this makes sense, and probably this will give you some clarity on why you're not able to get people the results that you want. So this is not going to be like a pound in the back and be like, hey, it's okay, it's therefore, like, you also still have to look at yourself, and you also still have to look at ways to improve your offer, because you can always improve your service every single time to make it 10 times better than it was before. And this usually applies for people who already have skin in the game. If you haven't had any skin in the game and you haven't like experienced working with different types of people, this might not really apply to you, because it might not make that much sense. But if you're at that stage, you will probably be able to understand what I'm trying to say. So, hope it makes sense to you, and I hope this is going to help you improve your marketing so you can actually attract better quality people and also get people 10 times better results. All right, hope that made sense. And if you're interested in how we can actually help you sign more clients, links in the description. I'll speak to you very soon. Peace.